I must admit, this deconstruction of Kari Lake, the morphed Donald Trump, was amazing. The MSNBC reporter Vaughn Hillyard, the correspondent, he did a masterful job in the way he really articulated who Kari Lake really is, how she campaigned, what she represents. But here's the thing. This is what journalists should be informing Americans all about. It's great that he said this after the election, but luckily, the woman lost, the fascist lost. But if a lot of people who were going to the vote had all this information that the fourth estate is supposed to provide us, the fourth estate being journalism, being reporters, then this election wouldn't have been even that close, because the disdain that these people have, not only for democracy, but for people in general, is quite evident. Take a listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Covered Kari Lake for the better part of the last year and a half here, and I think it was perhaps fitting to be here across from Mar-a-Lago today. I finally flew yesterday from Arizona here, and essentially, though, I felt like it was covering Donald Trump's campaign of 2024, but in Arizona over the last year. She predicated her campaign on trying to sell the big lie and trying to sell the conspiracy theories. When she wonders how she lost this race, look at it. This is the third election cycle in a row in which Arizonans rejected Trumpism. In the final week of her campaign, who did she campaign alongside? She campaigned alongside Steve Bannon. She campaigned alongside one of the chief promoters of Pizzagate. She campaigned alongside an individual who promoted the notion of the war on white people. She campaigned alongside State Senator Wendy Rogers, who just earlier this year was here in Florida speaking at a white nationalist conference, somebody who frequently spews anti-Semitism. This is an individual who just last week called her Democratic opponent a pervert. This is an individual who suggested there should be perp walks for elections officials, criminal charges against individuals who oversaw COVID response in 2020 in Arizona. This is an individual who's celebrating putting a dagger into the, quote, the McCain machine. She asserted that Cindy McCain wants to end America. She called Mike Lindell one of the great patriots of our time. She said Dinesh D'Souza is one of the greatest patriots in America. She suggested Paul Gosar was the kind of lawmaker our founding fathers envisioned. She called the media the right hand of the devil, the scourge of the earth. If that doesn't sound like Donald Trump, I don't know what does. And ultimately, the big question was she going to be able to make that sell here? And the answer is no, according to Arizona voters. And when you look at that slate of election deniers, from Tudor Dixon to Tim Michaels to Jim Marchant in Nevada to Mark Fincham, she was the latest one to fall, essentially making it a clean sweep of those not only election denier gubernatorial candidates and Secretary of State candidates. And now Donald Trump is going to go and try to run on the very message that all these folks lost on.
It shouldn't have to be rocket science to understand that this information, this great information from Vaughn Hillyard, put in a package as the way he just did, should have been out there before people finished voting, because it was essential. They didn't know all of these things that Kari Lake represented. They didn't know how bad she really was. Why wasn't it there? Because of some false sense of balanced news. News isn't balanced. News is news. If one side is utterly terrible, it is essential that we understand they are utterly terrible, and there's absolutely nothing that is balanced or creates some false imbalance. It's just real imbalance. One's really, really bad, and the other one not so. So let's hope that journalism will, going forward, do its job. Hillyard did it. Unfortunately, it came after the fact, and I'm sure he wanted to do this long time ago. But the powers that be would say, you know how Republicans are going to hit up MSNBC if we tell the truth? Instead, we just give our people silence. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.